Hi, Kath. Thank you so much for joining me today. Can I just get you to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a 46-year-old mother of two little boys. One is actually high needs, and I run my own business from home so that I can be there for the kids too. My husband is a technician and he is actually away a lot. He's mostly here on weekends, but during the week, at any time, he can go off for work for any amount of time. Yeah, that's it, really.
Okay, so you're really busy, Mum. Can I just ask you, yeah, you're always busy, aren't you?
There's not much time for downtime at all. With having a little boy with high needs, strong anxiety and ADHD and avoidance issues, I'm always involved with the school. And we have a lot of therapies to go to. My younger son also does speech therapy. We do a lot of work in extracurricular activities for them. So all of our afternoons are really busy. It's a huge timetable for the kids, for me, a lot of driving. And I've just put them into a new school, which is wonderful, but it's a 20-minute drive there and back. Okay. So yes, incredibly busy, never ending schedule.
Yeah. And can you just tell me a little bit about how you were feeling, maybe physically and emotionally, before we started working together?
Yes, I think I was feeling incredibly overwhelmed. I was never really happy. I never really had time for myself. I mean, I did. My husband always allows me and makes sure I have time for myself on a weekend away or so. But the everyday life was really overwhelming, very busy, a lot of stress and anxiety in the day. And some days I would feel, I don't suffer depression, but it would be quite depressing for me to even just get through a day. And often when Brad's not here, to get from 5:30 in the morning to 7:30 at night when the kids go to sleep, and everything that is involved in that day is exhausting. I was turning to things like alcohol and silly habits like that to relax me at the end of the night. I always have had trouble sleeping, a lot of trouble chilling out and relaxing, which I was worried was putting stress onto the children. It doesn't, I have a very positive, strong marriage, but it doesn't make for a happy marriage when there's just so much stress there. So I actually really wanted to break bad habits like drinking too much. I wanted to exercise more. I wanted general health. And I most of all wanted to gain all of this in order to have more patience with my children, because with Tom, if you are stern or use normal parenting with him, it can definitely escalate a situation. So the most important thing for me is to remain calm and patient with my children, which I was finding very difficult.
Okay. And how did you feel when you got the first organ and gland vitality audit?
Well, first of all, I've never felt anything like I did physically. I could barely move during the day. I was so highly affected, so dehydrated. The physical effects of the detox that you did was so real that I was quite shocked, and I could feel my body getting rid of toxins and detoxing. And I found it really easy not to drink because it was so hard on my body, the detox. It's the first time I'd done a proper detox. I was surprised by, and yet not surprised by, the organ vitality percentages. A lot of it was extraordinarily low. And I think that I suspected that would be the case with the way I felt prior.
Okay. And how did you find the process of working with me via the energetic surrogacy? So the whole process of the program.
Amazing. I mean, first of all, it was a gigantic relief to not have to go to another appointment, for one, to not actually have to physically go somewhere. To have you work via surrogacy, to me, was an absolute blessing. And I could honestly feel the effects of it every single time you were working on me. I certainly, in the initial 2 sessions, the physical change in my body was really obvious. And the energetic change became more and more obvious as you worked on me. I really felt it, and I really liked it. I was extremely grateful that it was done that way, actually.
Okay. And what changes have you noticed, or how are you feeling now at the end of the program?
The biggest change I noticed, and you have to remember as well, it's very difficult for me to notice things because the day is so busy, but even though that was the case, I really did notice, first of all, physically, the change of not having the need to depend on something like alcohol to relax me. It didn't even really cross my mind. I had great success in moving on from having habits like that. The biggest change I noticed, and the greatest change I noticed, was my ability to have patience with my children, understanding more of what they were going through, improving my relationship with my husband, just not feeling the rise of stress in my body every single day was really prevalent and made a big difference to my life. And it made me be able to step back and really evaluate where I was in that day, how I could be a better parent, and how I could get through my day without so much stress and anxiety.
Okay. So you did feel that the anxiety wasn't as what you used to feel as much? And you said you sort of struggled with overwhelm and all those emotions. Did you find that they just kind of left?
Yes. I mean, I would get through some days where I would just, scream into my pillow out of frustration. And I don't suffer anxiety as such, but I could honestly feel the rise of anxiety in my body on some days, which just didn't help me deal with the smallest issue with my children. Or I would make bad choices as a parent in my reaction to my children when they were just being kids. And I honestly felt that I could move forward and I could deal with things in such a better way.
Okay. And physically, have you noticed any changes physically and energy or?
Yes, I did. Energy is a difficult one for me because there is always so much packed into the day. But yes, better energy in the morning because, big difference in my life, I was able to sleep better.
Okay.
I've always been known as a semi-insomniac. My mother was the same, and I just thought that's hereditary, that's what happens. My mind ticks over before I go to sleep, and it takes me hours to get to sleep, and then I don't really have a very long sleep or good sleep, sometimes no sleep, and my sleep patterns have definitely improved.
Okay.
Also, reducing the use of alcohol and things like that, waking up more refreshed, having better sleeps, and being able to deal with situations much better, all equals having more energy too.
Okay. And I know we've spoken about a number of times that what a really lovely healing it is. Like when your body starts to self-heal, you just feel like it's all you and that you're just able to move forward and everything just seems so much easier.
It really does. And it's an incredible feeling having that self-healing going on. And it's hard sometimes to even believe it, but it's like a general happiness and a general ability to make decisions in an easier way, move forward and get everything done in your day without so many barriers and stresses and things like that. So it was surprising, and sometimes I had to stop and look back on my day and say, wow, that was different to how it has always been before we started this process.
Okay. Yep.
And it stayed with me as well. I used to create a lot of stress for myself by getting angry and going, you know, and a lot of body stress and a lot of muscle stress. And I still now to this day carry through a better ability to cope with all of those situations much better.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you for being so open and honest and sharing that about yourself. Yeah, thank you.
I want to just say as well, Tracey, you have made an extraordinary difference coming into our family's life. I can say that you also worked on my 2 children, and it's made a humongous and gigantic difference to my son with higher needs and my younger son who also has issues as well. And you're a godsend to this family, and we're so grateful to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you.
Made a big difference.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tracey.
Bye.
Bye.